Angela Raina's attempt to rush the radical renters' rights bill through the House of Lords in the dead of night has backfired spectacularly. The so-called champion of renters' rights tried to bypass scrutiny, expecting the bill to slide under the radar. But the Lords saw through it, and they hit back hard. This late-night maneuver was nothing short of a desperate power grab, and the backlash was swift and intense. Raina, under pressure from Labour leader Keir Starmer after the party's disastrous local election performance, attempted to push the bill through without proper debate or consultation. Labour peers were effectively ordered to attend through the night to force the legislation through. This wasn't a democratic process. It was an authoritarian approach disguised in red lipstick. There was no time for serious discussion, no time for addressing concerns, and certainly no time for consideration of the consequences. The House of Lords, however, wasn't having it. Baroness Eaton slammed the entire late-night charade as unacceptable, and she was right. The renters' rights bill is no minor reform. It's a full-on assault on the housing market. It grants excessive powers to local authorities and forces private landlords to make expensive upgrades. But the most troubling part? This was all being rushed through behind closed doors. Let's be clear. This bill's not about protecting tenants. It's about punishing landlords, the very people providing homes. The bill mandates costly and energy upgrades across millions of homes, with a target of achieving EPCC ratings by 2028. And this is not reform. It's a pie-in-the-sky plan dreamt up by Raina and Ed Miliband, designed to serve their eco-enthusiast agenda. And guess who gets to foot the bill? Not Labour, but the public. Raina and Miliband are set on rewriting housing laws entirely, with new mandates for heat pumps, solar panels, rent caps, and repairs under a Wobb's law. Sounds appealing on paper, but when you factor in the high costs, supply shortages, and red tape, it becomes clear this plan is a costly disaster in the making. When conservative peers raised legitimate concerns, Labour didn't respond with reason. They ramped up the pressure. A leaked memo, carelessly left on a printer, revealed that Labour whips were demanding full attendance from their peers to ensure the bill passed. It wasn't a request, it was an order. This wasn't about policy, it was about politics by brute force. Lord Jackson of Peterborough called it what it is, a power grab. Labour, in their desperate attempt to claw back credibility after their election defeat, decided to bulldoze through legislation without giving proper time for scrutiny or debate. In contrast, when Labour was in opposition, they demanded weeks of debate for bills. But now that they're in power, they limit it to just 5.5 days for a bill that could radically alter the housing market. This reckless push is set to decimate the rental market. Landlords facing unaffordable upgrade costs will be forced to sell, leading to a skyrocketing in rent prices and a severe drop in housing availability. Ironically, the very people the bill claims to protect, tenants, will suffer the most. Labour's logic seems to be kill the market to save it. Even Labour insiders have admitted the true intent behind the bill. It's about power, not process. The government's crackdown on dissenters isn't about policy. It's about silencing opposition. Raina and Miliband, instead of addressing concerns, have resorted to the politics of domination, demanding full obedience. When the Lords pushed back, Labour threw a tantrum, accusing Tories of filibustering, ironically, a tactic they once proudly employed themselves. But Raina's assault on democracy isn't over. She and Miliband have yet another bombshell in the works. New building regulations demanding developers install heat pumps and solar panels, with rules kicking in as early as next year. No consultation, no warning, just another top-down mandate from Labour's eco-elite, who won't be paying the costs. Meanwhile, in a separate but equally concerning development, Keir Starmer's trade deal with India has sparked outrage. The deal offers Indian workers a 3-year exemption from paying national insurance, something British workers are not entitled to. British workers, who've been paying into the system for years, now find themselves at a disadvantage. The public backlash has been swift as protesters gathered to condemn what they see as Labour's prioritization of foreign interests over their own citizens. Starmer claims the deal is a win for the economy, but it's clear that the British public is being sold out. British workers are facing higher national insurance costs while foreign workers are given a tax break. And for what? A few token reductions in tariffs and a vague promise of economic growth by 2040. The Indian government has already hailed the deal as a major win for Indian businesses. But what's in it for Britain? Essentially, we traded away tax fairness and border control for cheaper imports and a handful of whiskey tariffs. It's a bad deal for British workers. And the public isn't fooled. Starmer's claim that similar deals with the US and South Korea justify this move is disingenuous. Neither of those countries has demanded tax breaks for tens of thousands of workers coming to the UK. This isn't about international cooperation. It's about creating a two-tier system where British workers are sidelined in favor of cheaper labor.